Hello. I want to do this video real quick. I know I haven't really done a video in a while. And I want to think through some things on, I know I talked about interviewing some people who have narcolepsy or loved ones. Listen, life be happening. And I'm honestly barely making it on my job. So just have to hold off on some things. And I think I'm fine with it. I don't know, maybe. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. I just thought about it today. So let me just say the reason why I even thought to make this video right now is because I was watching a YouTube short from this man named Inkys. He's a native of Atlanta, and he's a motivational speaker. And I listened to his clip. It was important to me. He was talking about an injury as an athlete, and he has a whole interview. It's over an hour, but let me just say it is an hour of power, okay? It's really good, and I'm going to put the link in this video. But even my decision to watch it is because I have a nephew who tore his ACL the night before the homecoming game, and apparently he's going to have surgery. He's a junior in college. I mean, not in college, but in high school. And I've been honestly trying to seek ways to encourage him and motivate him and just empower him in his identity apart from football. Because our identity is more than just what we do, and even what we are passionate about, because we existed before those things. So he's a, young teenage boy, so I'm like, I don't really know. But even if he was a young teenage girl, I wouldn't know, right? You got to get to know people individually. So just trying to figure that out. So anyway, I'm listening to this interview, not really knowing about this man, Inkys, at all. I heard the clip, sounded pretty good. I just said, hey, let me go listen and see what it's about. And so when I tell you the story's amazing, it's worth a listen. Maybe you could just cut it on and be cleaning up your room or in the bathroom relieving yourself. Whatever you need to do to get through the hour and a half, I think maybe it is. It really is really good. Or listen to it in small bites. But I wanted to make a video because of some of the things he said that I'm going to say, and in relation to me having narcolepsy and just realizing this platform is really important. And I also want to put a link in the YouTube. I want to make the link available when the Narcolepsy Network, when I was featured on one of their stories, and just put that on there. It's not just my story that is something just so spectacular, but you can go and read it. But there's so many other stories from other people who have narcolepsy. Surprisingly, it's a lot of women. I just thought about that. That's really interesting. So I'm going to give you some of the really good nuggets from the interview with Inkys that I just wanted to share. One of the things he shared, so he got injured when he was in college and basically couldn't play anymore. And he said, one of the things he said was, in his darkest of places, within him having an injury and just, all the things that go through your mind when you're questioning your identity and who you are and with this painful circumstance. He said being connected to community during that darkest time was really important because he was just searching for something. But I do want to say that as well, being connected to people who love and care for you and about you, whether you have much to give or not, that's true community. It's not just about you having to give, because having that village mindset and that interdependence, like we need each other, right? So no one person is dependent on you to be their all. So that was something really important that he said, that he leaned into. And like I say, for my own self with narcolepsy, I didn't do that as much. I just made my circle that much smaller. But I will say that isolation can breed so many things: contempt, resentment, false assumptions, pity, just wrong thinking when you're just relying on your own thoughts. Because we live in a world with other people for a reason. But again, people who care for you and are for you is who I'm talking about, not just anybody, right? Because again, you need that empathy, you need that care, you need that concern from others, especially when you're going through the darkest times in your life. So honestly, it's that much more important to try to cultivate that in the good times, to be honest. So he said that. But then he said one of the guys in his small group, which was his community group, older gentleman, told him that he was selfish. And he was like, like I'm the least selfish, I'm the least selfish dude. That's what he told himself when this, older guy in the group was saying it about him. And he was like, why would you say that? And then the man was like, because you think that your injury is it is about you. And of course he's like, but it is, because it happened to me. And he's like that. The man is like, it happened to you, but it's not just for you, basically. And what he said was that our trials, our pain, our suffering are not just for us. Once we get to a place of peace, I want to really expound on that. Once we get to a place of peace, it's our responsibility to go out and share what we've learned or what we are learning in process. And so, yeah, just basically that there's purpose in that pain. But let me be very clear. You may not see that purpose and see the good and when you're not in a place of peace yet. And so I do want to say that he stresses that too. Like, when you're in a place of peace and you feel like you've survived this, whatever it is, how important it is to be able to be useful as a vessel, and you realize how much purpose you have in the world. And again, it made me be like, man, like, narcolepsy is not, talking on the YouTube is not my sole purpose. Because I really do believe, well, I was going to say teaching, but I guess teaching can come in many forms. So there's that. So, yeah, well, I don't know, but I'll have to ponder that, just like what Inky was saying. And so Inky also was saying that, we try to understand our pain, right? And we try to, before we feel like we can move forward. And what he was saying is that once you survive it, and once again, you come to a place of peace with whatever it is, whether it's you lose an arm, you lose a spouse, you lose a child, you lose, whatever. He was like, we still may not understand it, but sometimes it's not until we come to a place of peace and we work through it that we actually can understand it, looking back in hindsight. And then now we can use it to add value to the environments that we're involved in. And so anyway, just want to say that I'm going to put the link in on the page because I really do think it's important. And when those who follow me that are going through with narcolepsy, and I know I mentioned the Narcolepsy Network and how just being a part of the group and just hearing so many different stories, people being afraid, like people older than me just being afraid to experience life because of all that comes with it. Even some of the messages that I've gotten from people just who have listened to this channel, you just realize this is much bigger than you. Whatever it is, however, life happens. And that's what Inky talks about. Just, we never know. Like, we don't always have tomorrow. And so when he talks about that, our thinking like, oh, we'll just do this then, or we'll just do, and it's like, no one promised you that. Who promised you that you're going to see next year or whatever? And so how do you take the steps today to come to a place of peace, but also so processing that, working through that, but also accepting the love and the grace and the care from others in your hard time. I've come to believe that there are people who really just do the best that they can to care for you, love you, and help you, and they just don't know how. And so we have to give them words. I mentioned that before in other videos. We have to give words and give understanding to how they can add value in our lives, and then they can choose what that looks like for them. But the communication is so important. Setting those boundaries are also really important. But yeah, so I'll leave it at that. Please check out the interview about just how to get through hard times, because again, it doesn't matter what the hard time is. We place our identity in so many different things, and so I think it's just really something important, and I hope it'll be helpful. And peace to you.